But I can lift up about the family, the struggle that we're seeing over here and how folks are experiencing trauma. It's more intense trauma because the trauma was already there, right, once the water shut off. But now during COVID-19, it's been exacerbated. And so that's what we're seeing in this community. But this idea that people should be penalized for when they turn their water back on, right? That's even more insidious. And that's what we're seeing with this leadership in Detroit. That, the threat is constantly there, and as soon as everything is done, we're going to take care of the people who have turned their water on. So folks who have decided to declare their agency and say, no, my children are not going to have to be forced to stay in this home without water. We're not going to live in fear of being traumatized by not being able to wash our hands every day. So now all of a sudden people have to deal with the fact that they don't have water, and if they take it upon themselves to create stability in their homes, because clearly water is a stabilizer. We know that, and it should never be a time that anyone is cut off from water. So we really need to lift that up. I think that needs to be something that needs to be said. The idea that water is only accessible to those who can, quote unquote, afford it, that is the most inhumane thing that we are doing in this world, in this country, in this state, in this city. The idea that only those who have liquid assets, right, who can literally afford water, can have water. How is it even normalized? How do we even frame that in an agreement, in a payment plan system? Because that's what's happening. We're seeing where people are having to go into great debt just to have water in their homes, when that should never be the normal. That should never be something that we build funding off of the backs of people who are already under strain just to survive, not thrive, but to survive in community, right? In Brightmoor alone, their water is still being shut off. You know that. That's all over us in Detroit area. With the water station and the pantry, we see people from all over the city, and it's peace with the water. Access to clean, affordable water for drinking and for sanitation purposes, just to know that I have access to be able to get in a tub of water if I so choose to. It's not the common. It's not the normal for most people in this city. And something's wrong with that. It should never end up being the case. We know that there should be a moratorium on shutting off water, but that shouldn't even have to be said. What really is disturbing is the fact that before COVID-19, this was accepted as normal practice. So now we're seeing where there has to be something etched in stone to say, don't do it, which is just common sense. How do you withhold water from folks? How is that even considered to be a policy that's acceptable as a tool to, quote unquote, get the payment that they need? We're going to shut water off if they don't pay this bill. Clearly, water is a public good, and we know that to be true. There should never be a time that someone has to choose between being able to get their chemo treatment, right? Because I have a lot of clients who have to decide whether to pay their water bill or get their chemo or radiation treatment because they have to pay their copay with that, or with their insurance, with a prescription copay. Because those are the choices that clients are having to make. People are having to make every day of their lives. It should never be a decision whether or not I'm going to be able to put food on the table or water in the glass. That should not have to be a decision for anyone to have to make. And what point do we not realize that we're putting so much trauma and tension in the bodies of Black, brown, and poor people, and then we criminalize people by saying, well, if they would just pay their bills, if they would just be better stewards of their money, if they would just do this or make payment plans, why should someone have to go into debt just to manage water in their homes? That just makes no sense. It's unheard of. It's unconscionable. It is the most insidious evil that we are seeing right now. COVID-19, yes, as bad as it is, as as real as it is, the reality for me is this. From what I know to be truth, water is everything is founded on water. Water is the number one molecule that we all have to have. Everything that lives has to have water. That's just science. We know that to be true. And yet, for some reason, there's a comfortability, right, in being able to say, well, this person doesn't deserve water because they're not doing this, or because they're not occupying the space that they're in the way we feel they should. We know that this all goes back to the land and labor piece, because it's all about removing people from land space. And so we get that. We know that. But at the same time, what we need to understand is that there are human beings, literal, breathing human beings, who are forced to exist without water. They can't wash their hands. They can't flush the toilet. They cannot take baths. They don't have the option of choosing whether they're going to have a glass of water or whether they're going to have to boil that water for something to eat. That should not be the case. This pandemic is not balanced. I hear people saying all the time, we want to get back to normal. Normal was not all what it was cracked up to be. Clearly, because the normal was shutting off water. That should never be something we get back to. Not only do we need to stop it and turn the water on, we need to make water affordable. And water affordability plan is based on the income of each individual. And so that says the value of each person is not predicated on whether or not they can pay this bill, but whether or not they have the ability to afford to pay what's here. And that means if someone cannot afford to pay a water bill based on what they're claiming to be the meter reading, they can only pay what they can pay, right? As human beings, we shouldn't be forced to do more with what we can do. That is a form of oppression. That is a form of ostracization. That's criminalization. That's all of the isms, right? The capitalism and the systematic racism and classism. All of those things is what we see in this. Because the reason why many folks that are being withheld from water or are forced to exist without water, this is not a choice that people are making to exist without water. I need us to understand that. Because so often we hear people saying, well, that's the choice people make. No, that's not a choice. People are forced to exist without water because water has not been made accessible because of the cost. So that means if we know water is what's needed to maintain life in anything, anywhere on earth, and that's not something that's accessible for all, we've decided the value of people in that moment. That's problematic, and it should be for everybody. Yeah. And it should not be because of COVID-19. It should just be because it's a problem every day of the week, right? That's what that should be.